Good evening, or well, morning. It's not evening, it's morning. So, for those of you who don't know, you're about to know, but I love to cook. Cooking is something that I find thorough enjoyment. It's not necessarily what people say about the food that gives me so much joy. It's seeing the work of my hands and being able to taste it and to enjoy it. And it's really, I love it, especially when I come home from work and I've got something I have made or prepared. And it's really good because usually when I get off, it's late. And the last thing I need to do is stop at a fast food joint and pick up a burger. But I'm going to tell you a little secret about people who actually cook for a profession. They hate cooking for themselves. And it's because usually they'll spend, 8, 10, 12 hours a day cooking for other people. The last thing they want to do is drive whatever, amount of time they have to get home just to cook all over again. Now, for me, my drive is only 30 minutes. But if I get off work at 11, it's probably not until 12:30 that I'm able to eat. And so it can be overwhelming to have to cook sometimes. But I've decided I'm going to start taking care of my budget. And honestly, food was one of my highest expenses because I looked at my bank account and it said I had spent, oh my gosh, like $75 in one day because it was constantly go, go, go. I just had to get stuff on the go. And and that's not okay. $75 for food for one day is too much. And so I've decided I'm going to buy all my month's worth of food at one time, and I'm going to prepare it at the beginning of the week, so then all I have to do is go home, warm it up for 15 minutes, not fool around in the kitchen, and be good. Well, I decided to make some chili in my slow cooker. I've had my slow cooker collecting dust for probably a good month or two. And so I said, I'm going to get some chili. It's real simple. I can fill it with all the stuff I want. I can buy the good ingredients so that it's not like it doesn't taste gross, Anyway, so I go to the store and I end up like going through the aisles, filling up my shopping cart with everything I need. And I remember I spent about 10 minutes in the vegetable aisle because I was going to top my chili off with some jalapenos because I like spicy chili. So I went and they had them all individually like lined up. They charged $1 each, which I thought was crazy. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to make sure I get the good ones. I'm not going to grab, the nasty ones, put them in the bag so they'll just go bad in a couple days. And so I'm sitting there and I spend about 10 minutes, getting the big fat ones that I think are really firm and they'll have the best flavor. They'll be the spiciest. I was really excited. And so, I put the chili together. I have it cooking a whole day and then I go and do my stuff. I come back in the evening and I was like, the first bowl of chili. Yeah. And so I go through all the preparation. I get a bowl and I put all my chili in there. I sprinkle some cheese on top. I slice the jalapeno. I do it like at an angle, like we do at the restaurant, so it looks really cool. I do little designs on top because I want to enjoy my chili. Like I spend so much time, picking out all the specific things I want for this chili, and it was going to be perfect. I was so excited. And then I go and take that first bite. I break the cheese, and then and something's wrong. No, I put cheese and jalapenos on top. No, I don't put no crackers in. No, it messes it up. It takes away from the flavor. But so I break into the cheese and I put it in my mouth and instantly I notice something's wrong. I'm just like, okay, let me dig through, make sure I didn't forget nothing. I pull out the tomatoes, I pull out the beans, I pull out the meat, I pull out, all the sliced up peppers and stuff I had in there. I was like, what is wrong with this? And so I go in for another bite and I instantly realized what it was. The jalapeno didn't have any spice. I remember telling Xavier's like, yo, like my chili's messed up. I don't understand what's wrong with my jalapenos. They're crunchy. They have all the seeds. They were sliced perfectly. They're fresh from the store. So, I don't understand why there's no spice to this. I was really frustrated because the thing that I had spent so much time trying to select and get perfect wasn't the way it was supposed to be. And so Xavier's just like, man, maybe you just happened to slice off a really bad part of the jalapeno that had no spice, because that happens. I'm just like, what? I've never heard of that. But okay, it must be a Florida thing or whatever, fine. And so he goes, it's okay, I got you. And so he grabs one of the other jalapenos and he bites into it.
And he's freaking out because he thinks he's going to get a mouthful of fire in his mouth. But he's like, wait, how many did you buy? I was like, I bought like 4. And so he goes and he looks at him. He's like, these aren't jalapenos. I was like, what are you talking about? They were in the jalapeno aisle. They were sold for $1 each. They should be jalapenos. They need to be jalapenos because it's what I wanted. And he says, no. These are green peppers. They're really similar, sweet green peppers. They're really similar to what jalapenos look like. That was probably the most, oh man, I have never felt so much, I haven't felt sorrow in a long time. But not having my jalapenos on top of my chili when they should have been jalapenos, they turned out to be sweet green pepper. I was just like, why? It was the worst. But I want you guys to go ahead and go to 1 Peter chapter 18. 1 Peter chapter 18. When is the last time, I want you guys to think of a time in your life where you thought something was supposed to be up to a standard that you'd expected, but it wasn't there, and it could possibly be something that you spent money on. It could be a car, you buy it, you drive down the road, and it breaks down on you within a month. It could be a tool that you buy that ends up breaking and you thought it would be a quality one. I've done that too. Ends up being garbage and breaks on you. I don't know whether any, but look in your lives. And I want you to read, I'm going to read this. For as much as ye know that you were not redeemed with corruptible things as silver and gold from your vain conversion received by tradition from your father, but with the precious blood of Christ, as a lamb without blemish and without spot. Now, when I went to select my jalapenos, perfectly select each individual one, I looked for the ones that I knew would, or I thought would produce what would give me what I wanted, because it was something that I desired. Now, I purposefully strayed away from the ones that were, kind of wrinkly, because, those aren't going to last long. I don't want those. It was ones that I had already selected, the ones that I wanted. I went for them. And I paid with them. I paid for them because it was something I wanted. Now, when you look at the world, sometimes we see situations that are undesirable. We see things happening in people's lives that we think aren't right. We get upset over them, because I know I do sometimes, because I think that something what is the word? I hurt for them. I don't want them to go through that situation. You see, everybody is somebody that Jesus died for. Jesus died for everybody. You see, when Jesus died, he purchased us. You know what? I think about the money that I spent on the food, and it's like, man, I spent how many hours in the kitchen trying to get all this money together at my job so that I could buy these things. Now, realize what Jesus went through to purchase us, to purchase our freedom, was a lot. He was beaten, he was spit upon, he was whipped, he carried a cross through the middle of a town, and people were making fun of him, put a crown of thorn on his heads. He did all that for us. And I wonder if we honestly kept that on the forefront of our thoughts, because I don't keep that as my main focus when I get up. I'm usually worried about, I'm hungry, or I don't want to get up. I want to hit my snooze alarm for another 30 minutes. I don't want to have to go to work today. All these things that really don't matter. The fact that Jesus died for me is probably sometimes the farthest thing from my mind. And so what I want to leave you with today is to realize and to remember and keep it on your mind that we were bought with a price. And that price was Jesus' blood, a man who had done nothing except love people. He shed his blood. His blood was shed for us. And it is our it is our responsibility to go and tell people Jesus loves you and he died for you. We're to live it out and show it to people. So my challenge for the rest of the week and for the rest of your lives is to remember that and live it out. If you could bow with me. Father, I want to come before you. I want to thank you so much for seeing past our imperfections and seeing us as worthy of your son's blood. And I know that my actions oftentimes don't line up with that, and I'm sorry for that. But I thank you for being a God of grace and a God of love and mercy. And I just ask that you help me to remember that. And it's in your son's name that I pray.